Hey, we're back in the kitchen. Let's get cooking. And follow us on cookingtogetlaid.com. You never know what might happen. We are making these wonderful turkey meatballs. It's a turkey meatball red curry sauce that we're gonna make with coconut milk. So the first thing we're gonna do is the meatballs, and that involves our ground turkey, and then all these things that I've already kind of prepped up here. So it's a lot of stuff. Don't get overwhelmed with a recipe that has a lot of ingredients. Just get them all ready. So I've got green onions here. I've got basil, so I got half a cup of this. This is 3 green onions. I've got some red curry paste. This stuff is great. You get it in the store and it keeps for a very long time. It comes in a little pouch, so it stays fresh for a very long time. This will get you lots of meals, one of these containers. Fish sauce here. We've got some garlic, cornstarch, some sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and a few teaspoons of salt. So this is all gonna get incorporated together in this bowl. So our turkey goes in here. Turkey, love working with this. It cooks up so nice. So that's gonna go in there. And then we're just gonna start throwing everything in on top and mix it all together. One of the hardest things to mix in to make sure you get right is your curry. So I kind of like to double mix that. So I'll mix that up with maybe the salt and a little bit of the sugar, and then that way in the fish sauce right on the side. It's just, so I want to make sure that I get this curry broken up, you know, not just in chunks. So I'm gonna give that a little mix. Oh, that's kind of makes a paste. And we're gonna mix that up. And then we've got basil, a bunch of garlic, cornstarch. I wanna kind of mix in that cornstarch into my concoction here too, to make sure that it breaks down. So this all gets incorporated, work it in together, and then we're gonna make them into meatballs. So now we're just gonna pour that in and incorporate that. I think this is something that can probably stand for a bit, you know, while you're prepping other things, but I'm gonna incorporate it pretty quickly and then make it into meatballs, prep it into meatballs. So if you really like this recipe, you know, check out that subscribe button there. All right, we are just completing our meatball medley. So I'm just getting down to the end of this bowl to make these meatballs. Sometimes I spray a little oil on my my scooper, my meatball scooper, just so that it comes out of the scooper nice and easy. Because sometimes this has a tendency to stick a little bit. There we go. A meatball medley. Now we can cook them.
Huh?
All right, I'm putting the last of my meatballs in this pan. So again, we had some hot oil going, a few tablespoons, 3 tablespoons in the bottom of this pan. Again, I'm cooking these on 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. And you just gotta turn these, you know, you want it browned on every side. So I find if I'm cooking it at a 5, you know, a medium heat, they're not really charred real hard and fast, but they're cooking up, and then we can turn them, move them around. I'm gonna show you, once I get all of these in here, the ones that I've cooked right here. So these are the ones that I cooked up, right? They're just nicely browned. They're not fully cooked all the way through. They're gonna cook when we put them in the sauce. You know, I love it when people say that it only takes a few minutes. This takes a good 5 minutes for these to get cooked, maybe a little bit longer. I'm just gonna roll them around. Make sure they don't stick on the bottom. You just want a meatball looking thing here. So that's what we're doing. Those look great. All right, our meatballs are all complete. So I'm gonna pull the last of the meatballs out, get them on this pan to rest. They've all been browned up. So now again, we've got a pot with this nice font in there with, you know, bits of what we had cooked. So kind of the deglazing of that is red onion. So more red onion coming. Again, I'm gonna go through this chopping technique that I like to have, which is, you know, a slice here. This is just a big chop. This isn't minced. So I'm gonna give this a few chops lengthwise there, and then big chops this way, you know, big pieces. So right into the pan we go with that, real easy. Show you kind of what that looks like. You know, big pieces. We're gonna make this right into our soup, into our broth. So onions, in we go. We're gonna cook those down for about 5 minutes in this same pan, and it's gonna deglaze. It's gonna cook up. You know, we're still got some oil in there from what we had cooked the meatballs in. So again, that's gonna soak up all of that good font in the bottom of that pan. So about 5 minutes with our onions, and then we're gonna start to add in a little garlic, and then our milk, our coconut milk, to build that broth, and then the meatballs go back in and cook everything together. Okay, we've got our meatballs here, and in the pan I've got my onions and the garlic, rough chopped, all in here, and then 2 cans of our coconut milk. So coconut milk in here. So this is gonna boil up, and all of these meatballs are gonna go right into this pan. You can see how the sauce kind of looks, if I can show you. It's got the red curry sauce and milk, so I added more red curry in here too, so you can see the color of that. That's gonna boil up with these meatballs for about 20 minutes, be thoroughly cooked when we're done. So make a little bit of a mess here. Ooh. Here we go. Meatballs going in. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, I did that without too much of a mess. Woo! Yeah, look at that. They're gonna swim in that coconut milk and curry for about 20 minutes, just on a medium heat, like a 5, and away we go. All cooked up, and I'm gonna just throw some green onions on the top, give it some color, some cilantro to throw in when we're together, and then it calls for a little bit of lime juice. So I got a couple of limes I'm gonna squeeze in here. This really brings out some brightness when you get this lime in here at the end. You know, you might want to salt and pepper this, but it'll have a ton of flavors, and this lime really can give it a punch and some zest at the end here. So 2 limes, calls for 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Beautiful meatballs. All right, I put some bamboo shoots in there because I had a can of bamboo shoots and some red pepper. So little veggies in there with our Thai curry coconut. They're not Thai. They're just red curry. Turkey meatballs. All right, we've got rice right here. Yeah, look at that. Mmm. Great color. There you go.